Warrior, treasure hunter, sole survivor of his race, Knuckles is Sonic's first rival and the last living member of the Echidna tribe. Knuckles is usually defined by his strength or his stupidity, but both of these ideas are pretty reductive. Yes, Knuckles is strong. He contrasts Sonic and Tails well. He might not be as fast as Sonic, but he strikes much harder. He smashes through walls of stone and digs through the ground, making his own paths forward. He might not have the dexterity or technical intelligence of Tails. He can't fly, but he can glide and even climb, which often allows him to reach places even Tails can't. And Knuckles actually possesses a rather extensive knowledge of survival tactics, history, archaeology, mythology, and arcana. He's not a genius like Tails, but he's not stupid either. The reason Knuckles was defined as this comic relief idiot for so long is all a result of his upbringing. Knuckles grew up alone on Angel Island. He had no experience with other sapient life until he met Dr. Robotnik in the events preceding Sonic 3. Sure, it's easy to paint him as a moron for trusting the Doctor and attacking Sonic, but he had no other interactions to base this judgment on. Of course Knuckles was naive, he had never been tricked before in his entire life. And Knuckles has grown out of this. He's learned who to trust and who to be wary of. And of course, he regularly puts his foot in his mouth when he's talking to Sonic. The Blue Hedgehog is very quick-witted, and Knuckles only just started talking to other people recently. Knuckles isn't dumb, he's just sheltered, and happens to hang out with a genius and a smart mouth. I think it would make much more sense if, in the future, Knuckles came to be known for his more enduring positive strengths. His honor, his loyalty, his protective nature. So, if Knuckles isn't defined by his strength or his stupidity, what makes him interesting? It's his unrelenting sense of duty and the solitude that it brings.
I do things on my own, and that's just how I like it. I don't need anyone else to get by. But sometimes, I wonder how things would be if I hadn't been given this responsibility. Why was I chosen for this duty? Perhaps it's karma.
Knuckles is the only survivor of the Echidna clans. He holds on his shoulders the massive weight of their history, all their accomplishments, their failures, their secrets, and their legacy. His home, Angel Island, is the last testament to his people's existence and the mark they left on the world. Knuckles is bound to this place not just because it's his home, but because without someone to protect it, the architecture and wildlife are open to attack, plundering, and degradation. But his greatest responsibility is the crown jewel of the Echidnas, the mysterious and enigmatic Master Emerald. Not only is the Master Emerald the most sacred holy relic of the Echidnas, with the utmost historic and religious significance, it's also the most powerful force on the planet. The Master Gem has the power to control and neutralize the Chaos Emeralds, each of which holds infinite potential and miracle-granting energy. And even without the Chaos Emeralds, the Master Emerald possesses its own limitless source of chaos energy, the one jewel offering the power of a super form that would require all 7 of the smaller emeralds. As its guardian, Knuckles has an innate connection to the Master Emerald, able to sense its presence and even manipulate its size so he can carry it around with him. Knuckles is fundamentally tied to it, which is a fitting analogy because the Master Emerald is often like a leash on him, holding him back from embracing his adventurous, treasure-hunting desires. Knuckles is eternally bound by the Master Emerald and his duty to protect it. He is bound to solitude. Theoretically, the position of Master Emerald Guardian could be shared with another, if the Echidnas were still alive. And even if no one else could hold the responsibility, at least Knuckles wouldn't be all alone up in the sky. The Echidnas were likely wiped out due to their greed. The Knuckles tribe wanted to conquer as much of the world as possible, and slaughtered the innocent Chao in their efforts to capture the Master Emerald. In doing so, they awakened the fury of Chaos, the watery god of destruction. I think it's fitting that Knuckles speaks of karma. The Echidnas were the orchestrators of their own destruction. If they had tempered their greed and existed in harmony with nature and the Chao, they would likely still be thriving down on the Earth's surface. Instead, Tikal sealed away the rampaging chaos within the Master Emerald, and the Knuckles tribe accepted their punishment, using the Emerald to lift Angel Island up into the sky to protect it from ever being shattered and releasing chaos. Today, Knuckles now bears the burden of a people he never knew, his solitude the result of a sin he never committed, all because he shares their blood. Karma truly seems cruel. That said, it's not all bad. Knuckles does have brief respites from his loneliness. While he was manipulated by Robotnik during their first encounter and clashed with Sonic a few times, the two quickly worked things out and saved the day together. Since then, Knuckles has had a friend in Sonic, and by extension, Tails and Amy. At the beginning of this video, I described Sonic and Knuckles as rivals, and I think that is the perfect word for them, more so than Sonic's relationship with someone like Shadow or Metal, who tend to be more antagonistic. Knuckles' relationship with Sonic is one clearly based on a very strong mutual respect, with a mountain of competitive posturing on top. They love to compete. Sonic knows no one can match his speed, and Knuckles knows no one can match his strength. They respect each other's abilities and enjoy hanging out, but their egos definitely clash sometimes. They both have barrels of fun when they get an excuse to throw down. That's why they're rivals. They love to compete, although most of the time, they just enjoy each other's company as friends. When Sonic is off saving the world, Knuckles usually tags along. His good nature just can't resist it. Knuckles became dedicated to helping the world outside of Angel Island as well. That was Sonic's influence on him. Knuckles helped stop Eggman during the events of Sonic Heroes and 06. He helped Shadow protect the world from the Black Arms invasion. And during the events of Forces, when Eggman captured Sonic and took over the entire world, Knuckles was the one who took the mantle as leader of the Resistance. He had all these opportunities to help the world because of his friendship with Sonic, but he acted on those opportunities because he felt a duty to do so. Knuckles does not ever shirk responsibility. Of course, that's what makes him such a good foil for Rouge. First meeting in Sonic Adventure 2, the two treasure hunters competed to collect the pieces of the shattered Master Emerald. Knuckles was doing so as a part of his tireless duty as Guardian, the exact opposite of Rouge, who's almost entirely self-interested and only wanted the shards for her personal collection of treasures and trinkets. Of course, these two clashed due to their obstinate differences, but over the course of the story and their subsequent adventures, they actually started to rub off on one another. As Knuckles interacts with Rouge, he's pulled away from his rigid, lawful attitude and grumpy temperament. He learns to have a little fun, be playfully competitive, live a little. That is Rouge's influence. And on the flip side, Knuckles' strong sense of morality and personal responsibility drew Rouge away from her cold and selfish shell she'd wrapped herself in, convincing her to be a little more caring, a little more concerned with the well-being of others. The way these two complement one another, along with their shared love of treasure hunting, is what makes them such a great pair. Yes, Knuckles does have great friendships, quality connections with others, which is why his fate of solitude is so tragic. As we see in Frontiers, he envies Sonic's lifestyle. He wants that freedom, to go where he wants, when he wants. And he might even try to experience some of that the next time we see him. But it'll only be temporary. He can't stay away from Angel Island and the Master Emerald for long. It's a sad dilemma. Which made me wonder, what is Knuckles' plan for the future? He is bound to his duty as the last Echidna, but what about when there are no more Echidnas? For the moment, solitude is a part of Knuckles' responsibility, but eventually he will need to train a successor Guardian, someone to take watch over the island, watch over the Master Emerald. To find a successor, Knuckles will need to leave, to travel the world, meet people, experience all there is to see. Live. At the end of the day, the emerald that has kept Knuckles alone for his entire life will be the force that pushes him to see the world, to make a new connection, form new bonds. Knuckles' fate is not to be alone, it's to leave a legacy. To pass on the history of the Echidnas, their wisdom, their failures, their greatest treasure. The Master Emerald that once plagued him will now bring him peace. We've actually seen this already. His duty to the Master Emerald is the only reason he ever met Sonic, and by extension, Tails and Amy. Collecting the broken pieces of the Master Emerald is how he met Rouge. Protecting the Emerald and Angel Island gives him purpose in his life. It's what connected him to the most important people he knows. It's not a curse, it's a blessing. If there is any karma at play in the life of Knuckles the Echidna, it's that Knuckles was blessed with his friends because of his work as a dutiful guardian. Stay frosty.